I disagree in every way with us doing this. This is the most intense, personal, spiritual, private decisions people will make. They have the right to prepare in all ways for it. And regardless of what we did as state policy, to now turn around and say that the private insurance carriers that they've been paying cannot cover is fundamentally wrong on every level. Secondly, as you discussed to some degree last night from what I'm told, it is also fundamentally preempted by the Affordable Care Act, at least as it applies to the private insurers. Not only in the Duff case, which came out, and I think you talked about last night on March 14th, 2030 from the state of Missouri, which makes it clear, but yesterday in preparing, thinking I would be on the floor, I went back and looked at other cases, and you can also look at a case from the Eastern District of Michigan on April 3rd, 2013, a case March 22nd, 2013, a case from the District of Colorado, February 27th, 2013, and one January 8th, 2013 from the District of Minnesota, all holding that the Affordable Care Act preempts what we are trying to do on the floor. At some point, we ought to follow the law. This bill, because it will be struck down, at least that portion of it as applies to private insurers.
Mr. Speaker,
I do not yield. At least as it applies to private insurers, will be struck down, and we know that going into it. But even if that were not the case, my bigger argument today is what we are doing to the people having to make this decision. For the person who has diabetes and is told at the second or third month of their pregnancy, it may not be life-threatening, but it will be life-altering in terms of what you do. So you don't come in under the exemption, and you have a choice to make about how you're going to proceed with your pregnancy. To the person who finds out that any debilitating disease may be there and may, in fact, do what I gave in my first example to the fetus, we have no right as a state to substitute our judgment for those parents. I am fully against the concept of abortion in every way as a selective issue. I am against abortion to the extent that I can encourage people to have babies, to use foster care, to use adoption, to use all of the methods available to them. But when parents are put in a position where they have to make choices fundamentally about the health and life of their fetus and themselves, most of them make it with incredible responsibility, and they make it as one of the most important decisions of their life. And with bills like this, we fail to recognize that. And it is wrong.